So today we're going to be talking about the difference between a will and a trust. It's a question I get a lot from people who are clients or have thought about estate planning. Maybe they're not clients, maybe they have an old estate plan. Maybe they're wondering what the benefit was that they don't remember their old attorney telling them. So I hope that this explanation will add some clarity for you on the difference between what a will and a trust is. And so I always start with a story because people like stories, right? And if you're from this area of the world, you know that Stone Mountain Park has one of the best laser shows in our country. And believe me, I've seen at least 3, and the Ozarks can't hold a candle to Atlanta, Georgia's Stone Mountain. So if you go there for a laser show, you're going to know that there's a green lawn in front of that mountain. And on that lawn, a lot of families come early, they set up a picnic, and they put out their picnic blanket on the ground. And they put out their food, and they might have some fruit, right? They might have hamburgers, and all of that is probably going to go on a plate, right? And so as you set your food out on that blanket, you are going to find that within a few short minutes, at least in this part of the world, you're going to have some guests that you did not invite. Now, what would some of those guests be? You're right. So you're probably going to have some ants, and you're going to have some house flies maybe, or some outside flies. You might even have yellow jackets or mosquitoes. Now, in this firm, our bugs actually have names. The yellow jacket is the IRS because the IRS is always after the easy, sweet stuff. The relatives in your family are always the mosquito because they're always after blood. And the VA and Medicaid are the ant for the VA, and the fly is Medicaid. And when you've got your assets and your meal out on this blanket, the bugs can see it and get to it really easy. All they have to do is crawl up and get it. It's the same in real life when you have a will-based plan. When you have a will, it only takes a number 2 pencil, a piece of notebook paper, and $2 to file an objection to a will in probate court. There are very few things you can do that are more expensive than that in the legal system, or there's a lot of things you can do in the legal system that are more expensive than that. There are very few things you can do that are as cheap as objecting to a will in a probate court case. And a judge is going to have a hearing every time you file an objection. So if you file an objection and the court has a hearing, guess what? That's more time off of work. That's more time out of your schedule to try to get the estate handled. And there's a chance you could lose every time there's a hearing, right? There's a chance this person who objected with a number 2 pencil and $2 is going to get what they want. So there's a better way to do things. What if you could avoid probate court entirely? Avoid the chance that you'll be in front of a judge. Avoid the chance a judge is going to make a decision you don't like. What is your option? The option you have is a trust basket. So think of the trust as your picnic basket. If you were to take your hamburger, let's call your hamburger your house, and you put your house into your trust basket, then when you pass away, it's super easy. You just take this basket and you hand it off to the trustee that's going to be taking over after you're gone. And all they're going to need to do is come to a law firm like mine and fill out a new certificate of trust form. All they have to really do is sign it. And that is something we can do as soon as your death certificate arrives. Once they do that, they're free to put the house on the market, hire contractors, handle any bank accounts you had in the trust name or that the trust was beneficiary of. That's right. The trust actually doesn't have to own everything. Your plate and your apple, I didn't put in the trust. Why is that? Because your plate, let's call your plate your retirement account. Your trust, if your trust owns your retirement account, that whole thing goes in the trust, and guess what? All of your income taxes are due in that same year. And we don't want that. I'm a big fan of avoiding taxes. So instead of putting your IRA account into your trust, we are going to keep it out and make the trust the beneficiary so that when you pass away, that's when the IRA account goes in the trust and not before. Okay? What else do we leave out of the trust? We're going to leave your bank accounts out of the trust because we can make the trust the beneficiary. So you don't have to change where your retirement gets deposited or where your Social Security gets deposited. So it's a very low stress way to make sure that you avoid probate court and you make things super smooth and easy for your family. Basically what we do on these bank accounts by making the trust the beneficiary is we're saying, when I die, that's when my money will go in my basket and not before. But when you pass away, the money goes in your basket, and the person that comes after you simply follows the directions in the trust and does exactly what you want them to. So that's the difference between a will and a trust. A will is publicly filed in probate court. A trust is not publicly filed in a probate court. A will is possibly going to have hearings required if the judge needs clarification or if somebody causes trouble. On a trust, you have to file a lawsuit in Superior Court. You have to hire an attorney, most likely. You've got to pay the $209 filing fee. And that's what you're going to have to do before you can object to a trust. You got to do all those things. So it's much harder to object to a trust. Here's the best part. When you do a trust instead of a will and you fund it properly, meaning you put your house in there and you make sure all of your bank accounts have the trust listed as beneficiary, there's so much less stress in handling a trust than in going through probate. And hey, just a note, if you're one of those folks that's got property in other states, if you use a will, you're going to have to go through probate in every state where you own real property. That can get very, very expensive. The last client I had that did that died here in Georgia, had property in Mississippi, and also a house in New Orleans. And she ended up paying $10,000 or more in probate fees, and we were trying to make things as cheap and quick as possible. So take it from me, a lot of times, and for a lot of people, a revocable trust is going to be the best way forward because it's going to be the best for your family. But if you're looking at a will, then at least now you know what that option would involve and how easy it is to object to. If you've got a family that gets along and you're going to prefer probate court for whatever reason, it's still an option and we can still help you with that. So regardless of which preference you have, I hope that after today's video you have a better understanding of what a will involves and what a trust involves and how they're different. Thanks so much.